Britain could be facing an unprecedented onslaught of illegal migrants crossing the English Channel this summer. I know you're probably thinking, how much worse can it really get? Well, the answer is a lot, because French officials are warning of a worsening crisis just days after 5 migrants sadly died in an overloaded dinghy. And with hijackings becoming a serious issue across the Channel, a member of the French police union has said there are 5 companies of French National Police, about 350 personnel, normally dedicated to the fight against illegal immigration, who will not be available this summer because they are being requisitioned for the Olympics. How are we going to do it? So the mayor of the French town Rimouroux, not fluent, the scene of Tuesday's tragedy, added, "The period of the Olympic Games is on everyone's mind along with this coast. We're concerned that policing will be severely impacted. We need men, we need arms. If there had been a sufficient police presence, this tragedy would not have happened." So this concerning news just come the same day as the Safety of Rwanda bill received official royal assent. But will it help stop the small boats? Keir Starmer doesn't seem to think so, obviously.
The government has lost control of the borders. But this Rwanda gimmick is not the way to stop it. It cost an absolute fortune, £300 million already, another 50 million either this week or next, to remove a few hundred people. That's a drop in the ocean.
Right, so, look, in a nutshell, at the kind of peak migrant season across the Channel, it does look as though the French are going to be removing people from those beaches and sending them to Paris, which I think we can all agree bodes really well for us. I'm delighted to welcome Tory MP Jack Brereton. Jack, look, thank you very, very much. Are the French fuelling Britain's migrant crisis? I mean, are you particularly concerned about this? What should they do?
Well, it is very concerning, and particularly given, we've actually put resources towards the French, towards this. They should be using those resources to ensure that there is a proper police presence. So I do think it's absolutely shocking that we're hearing these suggestions. I mean,
do they care? We've sent them however many hundreds of £1 million that we have. The Olympics take place in Paris. They go, all right, we'll leave the beaches and we'll just go and guard the Stade de France or wherever it's taking place. You think, this is going to be a nightmare for us. We're going to see thousands coming across.
Well, I think, the fact that we've done huge amounts actually to try and support these efforts to deter migrants. We've seen, obviously, the Rwanda bill that's come forward in the last few days. This is offering proper deterrence to those illegal migrants crossing the Channel. That's what we absolutely need. And the concerns here are that actually the French don't really want to take the action, that we are seeing further efforts to abandon all this and move more migrants to the UK, and that we have to put in place a proper deterrence. That's the only way.
Look, what about a bit of threatening diplomacy here, Jack? What I say to the French, well, we've given you 500 million quid, or however much we've given you. If you're going to down tools and go and police the Olympics instead of the beaches, then for that period of time, we'll tow them back.
Well, I think, the reality is that we've done a huge amount already. We've put in place a number of measures that have seen reductions in the numbers of migrants coming over here. We've already seen a significant reduction this year. So we've not seen a significant reduction this year. We are up on the number of this time last year. So in the last 12 months, we have seen a reduction in the numbers coming across, but we do need to see further action. I'm hoping, obviously, that we will be seeing flights taking off very soon to Rwanda, because we need that deterrence as soon as possible if we're going to continue to see the reduction that needs to happen. But for Labour to just say that this is a gimmick is, quite frankly, a disgrace. They voted 139 times against any measures to deter illegal migration. They haven't.
I do really have to correct you on something. A record number of migrants across the English Channel so far this year. That is according to Provisional Home Office figures. Some 4,600. This was on the 27th of March, by the way, so it's way up since that now. 4,644 made the same journey in 2024, a record for the first 3 months of a calendar year. So, it's not been working. We've been lobbing a load of money at the French. The French don't care. They're going to go and protect the Olympics.
In the last 12 months, we've seen around a 45% reduction in the number of crossings because of the actions that we've been taking. If we look at Albanians, it's 90% down because of the agreement that we got with Albania. And we need to do more of that. That is the sort of things that we have been doing, try and reduce the numbers coming across. We've put in place a number of measures in France. There is more cooperation that is happening now between the NCA and the counterparts in France. And we actually have that dialogue happening. But to have this now, I think is a retrograde step, and we don't need to see this. We need to ensure that we see an increased police presence. We've put massive resource into this, which is nearly double the amount of French police on the beaches in France.
I mean, this is absolutely existential for Rishi Sunak and James Cleverly. As it currently stands, for this period that we've had in the year at the moment, we are at record levels, right? So if that continues, and if we end up at peak season with the French off to the Olympics, watching the old 100 metres and whatever, and you end up with Rwanda, but the migrants realise on the other side of the beach, which they'd be well within their rights to realise, that actually they could just overwhelm you because, if they can all come through at peak season, that is it. That is curtains for Rishi Sunak, isn't it? So what does he do? Does he pull us out of the ECHR and just fly them back to whatever country they've come from and do it sharpish? Or does he turn the boats back? Because I don't see another solution.
I think we need, I've called for increased detention facilities, and that's what we are now delivering. We need to have an increase in those facilities because it isn't just about Rwanda. We need to have those facilities obviously ready, and that's what I'm assured is happening now. We're getting an increase.
But then we accept them though, don't we?
Ready to go.
Yeah. Is that not a problem though? It's all right, we can have increased detention facilities so they're not in migrant hotels. Fine, great. But then they're just languishing those down and we accept them.
For about those holding areas so that we can fly them out either to back to their own country if it's safe or to a safe third country. And I hope that we can actually see, now we've delivered Rwanda, actually see more of those schemes, because a lot of those other countries who we've been having discussions with were waiting for Rwanda to get Rwanda working. So I'm hoping now we are going to see other schemes with other third countries so that we can see more of that, because then we can further increase that proper deterrent.
Yeah. Today, a man was found guilty. He'd been through 13 different European countries, apparently. From Morocco, this chap was found guilty of stabbing a 70-year-old man to death outside a migrant hotel as he went on a morning walk, all right? We're hearing a lot of, we're hoping that we're going to do this. We're hoping we're going to get flights off the ground. We're hoping, that this, that and the other is going to happen. Do you think people understand, dare I say, do you think politicians understand that people like me and members of the public are threatened by some of these people? This is a threat to our safety, and it doesn't, I do put it to you, it doesn't really look like politicians get that, okay?
Well, it doesn't. The reality is that lefty lawyers have defended murderers and rapists staying in the country. This is the sort of people that are backed by the Labour Party, and we have seen this repeatedly. As I say, the Labour Party repeatedly voted against measures to remove murderers and rapists from the country, and this is what we've allowed to happen. And the problem's been that we've seen the Lords have repeatedly prevented us from delivering Rwanda. Thankfully now, they've given way and we've managed to get that through. But we have faced these repeated challenges by lefty lawyers in the courts. I hope that we will now get on and deliver Rwanda as soon as possible, because we need that proper deterrence in place so that we can actually ensure that illegal migration is properly dealt with.
Yeah, look, for all the criticism of this Rwanda plan, I've dished it out myself. There is, anecdotal evidence that there may be some elements of it working, I suppose. We've had some interviews in recent days with people who've just landed on our shores saying if they'd have known about Rwanda, they never would have come. Apparently we're helping to flood the Republic of Ireland with some of these people as well now, potentially fleeing the Iran scheme. So you never know. The Rwanda thing might work, but yeah, like I was saying before, right at peak crossing time, it looks as though, unfortunately for us, despite the hundreds of millions, the French are just going to swan off and watch the Olympic Games and not the beaches. But look, Jack, thank you very much. It is a pleasure to have you on the show. I really appreciate you coming on, especially at this time of night, and we'll pick this up another time. That's Tory MP Jack Brereton there. Thank you very, very much.